Hey friends, welcome to another tool video. Today we're checking out this electric chainsaw from ENHULK. Man, I am really loving these electric chainsaws lately. We've actually been doing a ton of brush and small tree work at our cabin property. And I really debated about getting a motor-driven one or having one of these highly portable, easy to use electric chainsaws that are battery operated. I'm gonna show you how to put things together. We're gonna give it a quick demo and I'm gonna give you a review. Here's a couple of key features to take note of. It's got a 16-inch blade, low kickback with a chain bar. It's basically the equivalent of a 40cc gas run motor driven chainsaw. It's got a high efficiency brushless motor, nearly 79 feet per second turbo mode chain speed. Then it's got a chain brake LED indicator. Now this chainsaw, as you can see, has a 16-inch blade. It's 40 centimeters. It also has 58 volt max power, which is pretty darn good for these little handheld chainsaws. Okay, here's everything that's included in the box. You can see a little bit of assembly is required. We have the main unit down here, our charger. Look at this massive battery. This is that 58 volt, 2.5 amp hour battery, really large. We also have the 16-inch chain bar, a chain, and then the little plastic guard that can go over things once you're complete. We'll go ahead and get this big battery fully charged. Just slides into the charger like that, and then we'll plug it into the wall. Now remember friends, do all of these functions with putting on the chain, working on the chain, sharpening the chain, anything doing with the bar, with the battery out. That ensures the motor will never run and you won't hurt yourself. Now to get the chain bar on, we're actually gonna have to loosen these nuts up right here. And thankfully, underneath the saw, you can see they provided a little wrench for us to use. This is gonna fit those bolts that are located right over here. We'll go ahead and loosen those up. We'll then remove this outer guard here. Be careful not to lose those two top nuts there. Next, we're gonna put our chain onto our chain bar. Basically, I'm just gonna lay this chain out. Be careful. These do have sharp teeth, and it does have some oil on it, so I'm using these gloves. We're then going to lay the chain out just like this. Inside the bar, there's this little slotted piece right here, and so we're just going to put those teeth down into that slot. We're then going to lay our bar down onto the internal part of the chainsaw here. The bar needs to slot down against the wheel, and then this can lay flat, and then make sure we have the little tension mount that's into the bottom part of the hole in the bar right there. Should look something like this when you're done. Now the other thing we need to check is the chain tension. As you can see, this pulls off quite a bit, which is too much. Again, according to the instructions, read the instructions for yourself. There's only supposed to be a little more than 1 millimeter. So basically we can take this little tightener down here and we can just add some tension to that chain to keep it nice and tight. Again, new chains tend to stretch quite a bit, and so you need to check this frequently. See, that's pretty good now. I'm not getting a ton of pull on there. Again, we'll check it frequently to make sure that is staying in place. Again, if you have this too loose, it'll come off on you. It can be very dangerous. Now friends, don't make the mistake that I just did. I was trying to film and I wasn't paying attention. I actually put this chain on backwards. Here's the little diagram you can see of how it's supposed to be moving. And as you can see, these teeth are actually on backwards. So I'm gonna have to flip this chain. Okay, that chain is on correctly now. You can see, again, you have this more flat tooth in the back with the curved one up in the front. Again, pay special attention to this because you do want to have that correct. This little symbol on the end of the chain bar too makes it a little easier to see how to line things up. We'll go ahead and put our cover back on. Again, this just slides in to those 2 bolts and then use the top portion of this to tighten things down. Finally, what we need to do is put some oil for the first time or top it off with each use. Again, we need to use chain oil. Now, unfortunately, the saw doesn't come with any oil, so I'm going to use some that I actually had here at the house. To prevent a mess, I highly suggest using a funnel, and we're just going to pour this on down in here. Now, when we're done putting oil in, we'll put our cap back on, and then when you turn the saw upright, make sure, again, the oil is up past this minimum line in order to run it. You really do want this nice and full if you're going to have a long saw session. Okay, so we're out here near the house where there is some deadfall. This is gonna be a perfect place to try out a few cuts to give a demo. Basically, when we're ready, we can just slap our battery in just like that, And we are basically ready to go. We'll take off our cover. Again, be very, very careful because this blade is now live. And then I'll show you exactly how the modes work and how the trigger pulls. Now, a couple quick important points. Friends, use safety gear. It's really important to have gloves, eye protection, ear protection if you need it. This really isn't a loud saw, which is really nice compared to the motorized versions. But again, having the proper safety gear is super important. Now, I should be wearing chainsaw pants if I was gonna be doing a lot of work, but because I'm only making a couple of cuts, I should be okay. Again, this is for demo purposes. Use your own safety guidelines. Now, to use the saw, we need to have the guard pulled back like this. That's gonna allow us to start up the motor. And then basically we have a mode setting down here. And using this button while you're using the saw switches it from regular mode to turbo cutting mode. We basically have a little safety trigger that we have to push in like this. And then once I push down on the trigger, you can see everything starts going. Okay, so let's go ahead and try a cut right in this thick piece of the log. That should give us a good first test. Oh yeah, a great first cut. That thing, again, especially with the new chain, works just like butter, even through this nice big thick piece of wood. And there you go, you can see with logs this size especially, it just goes through so quick and easy. That is the ENHULK Pro Series electric chainsaw, 16-inch blade, brushless motor, and it works great. The one little problem I had is you really do have to make sure the battery is seated properly. Otherwise, you can get an error code. Again, you can kind of see it in this video. I had to just reset the battery and then things seem to work okay. Other than that though, this thing really cuts great. It has a lot of power, a huge battery. Definitely a cool saw I think is gonna really help out your quiver of tools. I'm definitely excited about it. If you're interested in grabbing one of these saws for yourself, you can actually find them right here on Amazon. And if this video has helped, hit that thumbs up button for us and subscribe because we make tons of these tool review videos for things you can find on Amazon to help your shopping experience and hopefully your life be just a little bit easier. Thanks for watching, friends, and we'll see you again on the next one.